Hello. Okay. All right, so let me just introduce it again. Okay, so I'm going to do the topic 18, additional problems. And those of you who are here will get extra credit for showing up today. We're going to go ahead and get started with the first one, which is at 4x minus 8. Four x minus 8 is less than 0. So this one is different. Right off the bat, we have one that's a little different because there's no y in it. So whenever you have an inequality and you don't have a y, you have to do this, just go ahead and solve for x. So we are going to add 8 to both sides, and then we're dividing by a positive 4. So that means x is less than 2. So for this, you can go ahead and remember, you have to remember that this is telling you what x is. So here's x, right? So come over to 2. And at 2, what do you think this is telling us about how to make this line? Whoops. This x less than 2, is that telling us to make it dashed or solid?
Solid.
It has to make it dash.
I mean, my bad. Yeah.
Yes, dashed. And that's a vertical line right here. Okay, so I don't know which way you guys are leaning towards of the two different strategies, but to me, I just read this and say, okay, this is x is less than 2. That's got to be this way, because less than is always to the left. Okay, so the alternative approach, are any of you guys leaning towards the test point approach? Or not so much, or you're not sure yet?
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet. Okay, so let's try the test point. So if we were to do a test point, we would generally pick the origin, 0, 0, which there's no y in this inequality, so we're just really focusing on the x. So we just say is 0, and we can go back up to the top if you want. 4 times 0 minus 8, is that less than 0? Well, that's just 0, and this is minus 8. Is that less than 0? Yes. So that means the point where x is 0, 0 is on the side of the solution. And we see that when we went ahead and just graphed it the initial way, we matched that, so it worked. So it's just like a confirmation. Yeah.
Is 0, 0 like, so I get that this is like how you can check your work for this to make sure you're sure. Is 0, 0 like a point that you can always use to like, so if it works, like, it's on that side?
It's not any point you want. 0, 0 just usually makes the math easier. There is one rule: the point cannot be on this line. So any point you use has to not be on that line.
Okay.
That's the only rule. So this one works at 0, 0. We did some examples in class yesterday where it didn't work.
Okay, thank you.
Let me go, sure, good question. Let me go on to the next question. And that is that x minus y. So this is going to be an example where you cannot use the origin. But let's go ahead and work that out. So we're going to just look at x minus y is less than or equal to 0. Again, I'm going to just continue to help us get ready for the final by emphasizing that when you multiply by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. So I'm going to leave the negative y on this side. And then I'm going to multiply or divide both sides by negative 1. And so now this is going to become y is greater than or equal to x. Okay. I just want to make sure that that is really clear, that this got flipped only because we divided by a negative or multiplied by a negative. Okay. So y greater than or equal to x. Let's go ahead and graph that. So remember, this is like the line 1x plus 0. So our y-intercept's at 0. and our x, our slope is 1. So up 1 and over 1, or down 1 and to the left 1. All right. Now, because this is equal to, right? Y is greater than or equal to x. That means the line's going to be solid, right?
Yep.
All right. And now we want y greater than. So to me, that just means any place on this line, you're going to go above it. It's greater than. Does that make sense? We're just going to go above this line. Okay.
I have a question for y equals mx plus.
Okay.
So like I got, it's not a big deal, but I'm just like, if I just have it as 1x minus 0, like with that, I just want to make sure I wouldn't get it, because visually that just makes more sense to me. Like, would you get points off if I did that? Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You would not
Okay.
get points off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
No,
Like,
no, good question. So a test point for this cannot be the origin because the origin's on the line. So we have to pick a different test point if you want to do a test point. So you can pick any number you want, but you know, zeros and ones just make life easier. Maybe you want to even use ones. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think? 1, 1? What's like an easier problem to do math with? Zeros or ones or?
Can we not do 1, 1 since that's on the line?
1, oh, good point. We can't do it. Thank you. We have to do 1, 0 or 0, 1 or I don't know, 3, 4, whatever you want, you know. So I'm going to go with 0, 1. It's right here. And we're going to see if this does in fact come out to be true. So we put the x is 0 minus y, so minus 1. We want to know, is that less than or equal to 0? And yes, minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. So that confirms that we shaded the right side. Okay, sorry, I lost my pen. Next one up is 2x plus y is less than or equal to 4. I think I'm going to switch on my black pen for a better one. Didn't really help. Brand new pen. Okay, let's go ahead and get this into the mx plus b form. So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. And I have another one to try too. That's not any better either. It's terrible. All right. That's the best one. Okay. So we're all set in one step. We already got it, right? So we're there. So we can go ahead and graph this. So we're going to go to 4. And the slope is minus 2 over 1. So we come down to 2. And we go, 2 is supposed to be right here. And the 2, and then go over to 1. Or we can go, right, the slope can be up 2. And to the left 1. And is this one solid or dashed?
Solid.
This one,
Solid.
because it's less than or equal to. Okay. And now we go and we start at the line and we say, which direction does y go? It's below the line, right? It's y less than the line. So just coming down off that line, we get our answer. Okay? Now we can pick a test point. And I'm going to pick 0, 0 because it's not on the line. And we're going to confirm that putting 0, 0 in this inequality is part of the solution. So 2 times 0 plus 0, is that less than or equal to? Oops. Is that less than or equal to 4? Well, 0 is less than or equal to 4. Yes. So we've confirmed that we shaded the right side. Okay? Okay, the next one is going to be the first one that we're doing that's actually an inequality. Sorry, I meant to say a system. The first one that's a system. So let's go to number 4. And we have x minus y. And I apologize, this is, I don't know why I'm having problems with my black ink pens, less than or equal to 0. I'm just going to switch to blue. And 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 12. All right, so let's go ahead and think of this as 2 problems in one. We're just going to overlay, remember, the transparent shading that we're doing, seeing where they overlaps. So let's start with line. We're going to call this one line 1, and this is line 2. So line 1, if we just go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and add y to the other side and just show you the other way, because we just got done in a couple problems ago doing it the other way. Just want to make sure that we're all clear that if I did add y, I don't have to multiply by a negative. I don't have to flip that negative. So this is a slightly different approach, but it's kind of convenient to flip the order in which we write them. So if I'm going to write this y, I have to pay attention to the wider side is facing the y. So when I do the wider side, it has to face the y. Okay, so I'm going to have to flip it because I'm writing it in the other direction. So this is y greater than or equal to x. And once again, we're going to think of that as 1 times x plus 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that one. Okay, so this is that line at the origin again.
Let me explain myself.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to just shade this answer, just like we did in the first few problems. Now we're doing a system, nothing changes, it's just 2 problems overlaid. So we're going to take and we're going to shade this part right here, because it's y greater than or equal to x. All right. And if you wanted to do the test point 0, 1, we would just say if x minus y, which is 0 minus 1, is that less than or equal to 0? Negative 1 is less than or equal to 0? Yes. Okay. And now we'll go and do line 2. So line 2, we're going to look at 2x plus 3y. And we're going to look at where it's greater than or equal to 12. All right, so subtracting 2x from both sides, we have 3y is greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 12. And then dividing both sides by positive 3, we get that y is greater than or equal to negative 2/3 x. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay. I am going to ask the people in the other room to quiet down a little. Sorry.
I'll try to keep it.
Okay, back. All right, so now I'm going to graph this line on top of this one. So I have the shaded region already, but I'm going to graph it. So this has got a y-axis of 4. I'm sorry, a y-intercept of 4. I misspoke. I'm going to do this one in red. So here's my 4. Put that in, and now I'm going to do a slope, right? The slope is negative 2/3. So it's going to be down 2 and over 3. And this is going to be equal to, greater than or equal to. So I'm going to draw my line solid. And this is telling me that y has to be above this line. Y is greater than negative 2/3 x plus 4. So I'm coming above this line. All right. And I can do a test point just to be sure. So maybe my test point is going to be the origin. Oh, no, I can't do the origin. Oh, I can do the test point as the origin because that's not on this line, on the red line. But I don't want to confuse anyone, so let's just go with 0, 1. All right, so let's plug that in, and we have 2 times 0 plus 3 times 1. And we want to know, is that greater than or equal to 12? Well, 2 times 0 is 0, and 3 times 1 is 3. And that's just 3. Is that greater than or equal to 12? No. So we have to go to the other side of 0, 1. Okay, so since 0, 1 is below this red line, we had correctly shaded above it. So it's confirmation. If you think you want it, you don't have to do that part, okay? So now that we have both shaded parts, we look to see where that overlap is. And you can see that the overlap is in this triangular region right up here. Okay. Any questions on that? Sure.
So when you're showing for two equations, like so when you're doing a system of equations with two and you're drawing in the part where like they both overlap, how do you want us to show like for like credit, like where we can see where it overlaps? Or do you just want us to draw out the graph like with the both arrows on it?
I think if you kind of do something similar to what I'm doing, that's sufficient.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you draw the arrows and then like kind of do something like where it's more shaded somehow where the answer is.
Oh, okay. In that area. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
I
Thank
want
you.
to shade that area a little bit, like kind of like I did, like, you know, if you have a pencil, you can kind of get a better shading in, but shade it. Okay, so the next question is going to be number 5. And this is 2x minus y is greater than or equal to 4. And 4x minus 2y is less than negative 2. Okay, so let's treat this as L1, this is L2. And we're going to proceed the same way we did before. So all right, so I'm just going to show you that alternative way of doing this. So I'm kind of trying to mix things up so that you get, you know, we just kind of keep building those skills, right? We want to be fast with them. We want to have them solid. We don't want to make little mistakes. So we're going to add y to both sides. And then we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. And you could have done this all in one step in your mind. All right. So now you can leave it like this. A lot of times it's just easier to read in the way we're kind of used to reading it. So that little part of the less than the point is pointing to the y. So you just make sure you point it to the y. All right. So now we have a line, 2x minus 4. And we want to go ahead and draw that line. And we're going to make sure we look at the y's that are less than that line. And we can also do a test point. We've been doing the test point after we shade it, but we can try a test point ahead of time. So we put the test point in and we get 2 times 0 minus 0, is that greater than or equal to 4? Okay, so we get that this is 0 greater than or equal to 4? And the answer is no. So the 0.00 is not going to be part of our shaded region. Okay, so we're going to say it's the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and plot this. We have -4 is our y-intercept, and we have a slope of 2. So we're going to go up 2 and over 1, and up 2 and over 1. And because this is less than or equal to, right, so I'm focusing on this right here, I'm going to do a solid line. All right. And now I say, okay, I got to go to this line and I got to be below that line, wherever it is. So I'm going to do vertical lines down below it. So I've confirmed that that origin is indeed on the other side of where I shaded. So we confirmed it that way. Okay, now let's go to line 2. And here we have 4x minus 2y is less than -2. Okay, so I'm going to add 2y to both sides. And then I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I have 4x plus 2 is less than 2y. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And I'm going to just make sure I distribute that division by 2 in each term in the numerator. So I get 2, because 4 divided by 2 is 2x, and 2 over 2 is 1, is less than y, which I'm going to just flip around and write it as y is greater than, right? The big side is facing y, 2x plus 1. All right. So let me, if you have different colors, it can help you see it better. I'm going to go ahead and use red. I'm going to go up to the y-intercept of 1. And I'm going to put in a slope of 2. So that's up 2, so blue, and over 1. And then I'm going to have down 2 and to the left 1. All right, now is this going to be a solid, or is this a solid line or a dotted line?
Dotted.
That's dotted. Okay, and when we get down here, we see that the answer that where we want to shade is y greater than 2x plus 1. Okay, so we're going to go above the line. And so we can also do a test point. And it looks like we can still use that same origin 0, 0 point. So we're going to put that in, and we have 4 times 0 minus 2 times 0. Is that less than -2? Question mark. Well, that's just 0. And 0, is 0 less than -2? No. So we want to know we want to shade above the line. So we are right. Okay, so where's the intersection?
They don't intersect.
They don't intersect. There's no place that these lines are overlapping anywhere. So there's no solution. Okay. All right, guys. So that's the end of the additional problems for this section. But I am available if you guys want, if you have questions on anything else. Do you have something you want to see from the past quiz, past exam, anything like that? If not, we'll wrap it up.
I have few. I'm gonna stay for a little while.
Oh, do you want me to go over those questions, Abraham? Abraham emailed me some questions. You want me to go over them now?
Sure. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. All right, I will do that. So let me just pop open this. I need to pop this open so I can see it. All right, so the first question, if I'm reading it right, there's a little bit of scribble on this question. You might need to help me a little. Let me,
Are you talking about number one?
it says number 6. So this question looks like it says number 6. I'm not
Yeah,
100%
so it's
sure
like
what I'm.
two, yes, it is two to the exponent of 2x time. I mean -4 times 2x equals 0.
Oh, 2
Yep.
raised to the 2x minus 4 times 2
Two.
raised to the x is equal to 0. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do here in order to try to get to solve this is it looks like you worked this out already.
It,
So are you asking me a question about this one or not?
nope, not that one. But I wanted us to talk in private. That's why I emailed you that.
Oh, okay. Well, we can talk in private tomorrow. Right now we're doing exercises with everybody. Okay, so let's just work through this anyway. So in order to try and solve this, what we're going to want to do is have a matching base. So first thing we can do is we can move this term over to the right so that we can maybe have special case matching base, because I know that 4 is 2 squared. So let's say I say this is 2 raised to the 2x, and then this is equal to 4, which I'm going to go ahead and write as 2 squared times 2x. Okay. Now, whenever you have the same base and you raise it to a power, what do you do to the powers?
Add
So if
them.
you what?
You add them.
Break it down.
You add
You added
them.
it.
Right. So this is equal to 2 raised to the 2 plus x. So this is how you're able to get that you have that special case matching base. So once that happens, that means the exponents have to match. So we just set up that equation because we know those exponents have to match. So we get that 2x has to equal 2 plus x. And now we can solve for x. So we subtract an x from both sides and we're left with x equals 2. Okay? Let's see. I'm not sure. Should I keep going on these questions? Abraham, is there another one on here you wanted me to work through?
You can check number 13.
Okay, number 13. Okay, I think I can see it. All right, so in number 13, it looks like we need to solve for an exponent, the t in the exponent. Okay, so I see 4e raised to something I can't really read. Hold on.
All right. So it'll be 4e raised to the 0.4t equals 3.
Okay. All right, equals 3. All right, so the first thing in your strategy when you're trying to solve a problem like this is you say, okay, well, what am I dealing with? Where is the variable? And you see that it's in the exponent. So as soon as it's in the exponent, your strategy needs to be to isolate what it's on the exponent of. It's on the exponent of e. A lot of people on the exam seem to somehow get it glued to the 4. It's not glued to the 4, okay? The 4 is multiplied right here. There's an implied multiplication. So we want to get this term by itself. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to divide both sides by 4. And that way this will cancel out and we can get that e raised to something by itself. So we have e raised to the 0.4t is equal to 3/4. Right. Now once you get it in this point, the way that you get the 0.4 out of the exponent is you take the natural log of both sides. So you can take the natural log of e to the 0.4t is equal to the natural log of 3/4. And you can put parentheses around these if it makes you feel better. You don't have to. But now the key thing, and the reason we did this, the entire reason we wanted to multiply by ln is because of the rule that lets us pull this out. So now we pull that 0.4 out. 0.4t ln of e equals ln of 3/4. But remember, ln of e is the disguised form of 1. And 1 times this is just this. So that means we have 0.4 t is equal to ln of 3/4. And then we just divide both sides by 0.4. And so from that, this cancels to 1, and we have that t is equal to the natural log of 3/4 divided by the 0.4. So you want to make sure you can get this right on the calculator. So ln of parentheses 3 divided by 4, close parentheses, and then divided that by 0.4. And I get that that is approximately equal to negative 0.797, And usually when we have to round like this, we'll go to 5 decimals. So negative 0.71921. Okay? Any questions on that? Everybody good?
Got it now. Yeah.
Okay. What's the next question? Let's see that we want to look at. There's a bunch of those where you have to do that. So any others, guys? Does anyone else have another problem they want me to work through? Here's one that just review it real quick. I can also go over problems from the exam. Do you guys want me to go over some of the problems from the exam that you just took? Anyway, I'll work on this one. There was stuff like this on the exam, kind of. This is log base 4 of 5x minus 4 is equal to 2, right? So the deal with this one is you always have to remember that when you see a log, what it's equal to is an exponent. So when you're going to convert it over and get rid of exponents, that's, get rid of the word log. You want to get rid of the word log, you're going to make that your exponent. And this is always the base. So it's 4 squared is equal to 5x minus 4. So 16 is equal to 5x minus 4. We add 4 to both sides. We'll have 20 is equal to 5x. And then dividing both sides by 5, we get that x is equal to 5 goes into 24 times. So we get that x is equal to 4. Okay?
That's what I got. But I plugged that in the computer and it said I get 0.5 point.
Okay. Well, check it out. I'm not sure why that is.
I got it right, but for some reason I plugged it in. It keeps saying I get point half credit for that.
Okay, we'll check it out. That's weird. All right. Any other questions, guys? No? Everybody's good? All right. Sounds like you guys are all set then. All right. Well, thank you for joining me tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Bye. Okay. Abraham, are you done? Okay.